What's up, nerds? So I'm coming at you today with my review. I know last time I said I was going to be quick on this stuff, but there's just been, stuff going on in my personal life, you guys. And, there's just things that just can't be avoided. And I'm sorry, but, it's just how it is. But I am going to do these reviews because this is the thing about Daredevil. Is this show great? No, but you know what? It's not complete garbage. I just wish that the people that wrote this show were more in tuned with the comic books, because I just feel like this is just like a shell of the comic books. And I just really wish it would just like if you watch the Netflix show, it's so much better. And I just wish that they would have tried to capture that, what that show had. I know that's not what this show is, but at the same time, it is what this show is. But there was some good surprises in this. I will have to say, though, this episode 5, it took place on St. Patrick's Day. And while I was watching, I was like, why didn't they just correspond this to air on St. Patrick's Day, or whenever, I can't remember when St. Patrick's Day was, but because that would have been so cool, but they didn't. And it's fine. It is what it is. What are you going to do? Okay, I am not going to take up too much of your time. I'm going to go through both episodes 5 and 6 because, again, I've waited way too long to do this review and everything. Just real quick, so everything possible with this review has gone bad, and everything, from the video to the audio with this. My power was out for 24 hours because of a giant storm, so I'm all like, man, maybe the good Lord doesn't want me to review this anymore. I wonder what Matt Murdock would say to that. He'd probably just say a prayer. Okay, I'm going to do these breakdowns and everything, tell you what I think, and then I'll tell you what I think overall at the end. All right, here we go. So on St. Patrick's Day, right, Murdock, he goes to the New York Mutual Bank to discuss a loan for his law firm. Now, his application is denied by the assistant bank manager, Yusuf Khan, due to the firm's, penchant for taking on clients who cannot afford to pay them. So he goes to the bank, right? And we saw this in the trailer and everything, and we knew this was, a robbery coming. And especially whenever there's a bank in a TV show, it's it's probably going to get robbed. But we got to see Yusuf Khan. Now, I love this character. I did not like Miss Marvel. You can check out my coverage. I'll leave a link in the iCard section, but I did not like this show, Ms. Marvel. I thought it was stupid. But one thing that I did like from it was the character Yusuf Khan. I liked the whole Khan family, but Yusuf Khan especially. I loved how he loves those little fruit pies. I love those little fruit pies. And I remember him saying he loves the artificialness of it. And I was like, oh my gosh, I love those things too. They're so good. But I love that he showed up, and I think that this was good with the cohesion of this Marvel Cinematic Universe. I just think that the shows have really not, connected very well with the movies. And I think that doing stuff like this is super helpful, although he was only in the Marvels, Yusuf Khan. They could have connected. They keep doing what you're doing, and I'm on board with it. So then after Murdock leaves, a group of criminals led by Devlin enter the bank and take everyone hostage. And they work for Luca, and he is attempting to steal the 1.8 million that he needs to pay off Victor. But so then Murdock, he hears all of this, right? And he returns to the bank. So after he was denied a loan, because I forgot to mention that he was denied a loan, but he leaves, and then he comes back because he hears the bank robbery is going down. So he's like, oh, I'm going to go back and everything. And I did there was a joke in there where, because he goes in, he's blind, obviously. And then he's all like, he goes, who's the bank manager? And he's like, okay, we got a blind one over here. Do we have a deaf one? And I was like, that's funny. It's not laugh out loud funny, but it was funny. So they're just trying to steal the money that they owe the other dude for killing those 2 truck drivers in the 3rd episode. So when the police arrive, Devlin talks to the hostage negotiator, which is Detective Angie Kim. And Matt Murdock, he takes out 2 of the robbers while Khan stalls for time at the bank vault. So Yusuf Khan says that he can open up the bank vault, and Matt Murdock's all like, you lied, didn't you? And he's like, yes, I do not know how to open it. And he's all like, listen, stall, okay? And he's stalling. He's like, oh, is it hot in here? Can I get a sandwich or a banana? I think he asked for a banana and everything. And while he's doing that, Matt Murdock takes out a dude on the stairwell, and he has to do it quietly. And I did like this fight sequence, although I have to just say I don't understand why it takes him so long to take out these specific bad guys, because these guys are not trained in martial arts, and I'm just like, I don't understand how you couldn't take out a nobody super fast, you know? I mean, it's fine. I'm not complaining because it was pretty cool, you know, with his and like they were like slowing it down slash being quiet and everything. So that was kind of fun. And then the other guy, he just like knocks out as he gets to the vault, right? So Murdoch, right? He opens the vault and they find a rare diamond, which the robbers were targeting. Because it's worth 1.8 million. And Murdoch, he pretends to give the diamond to Devlin as the police enter the bank. And then Devlin, he gives the little baggie to an accomplice who is among the hostages, who later then realizes that that she does not have the diamond inside that bag. It's just a piece of candy. So they're in the bank. The woman that she's all like, what do you mean you're not going to go out for St. Patrick's Day? She is in on the deal, Leo. So the police, okay, so Matt Murdock, he opens up the vault. And I love how Yusuf Khan's like, that's a GEX 72. It's impossible to get into. And he's all like, king, 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 ka-chink. And I was like, okay, look at you, Ocean's 11. And so they get in the vault and they end up opening it. This part was a little bit like, so this is the part where I'm just like, I wish they would explain Matt Murdock's powers just a little bit better, because I'm just like, it was just like, let's try this one. Try this one. It's and everything. I'm just like, okay, whatever. It is what it is. And they get this huge topaz diamond, or yellow diamond, whatever it is. It was huge. That's what she said. And so they go upstairs and he replaces inside the bag the diamond with a piece of butterscotch candy, which those are delicious, which Yusuf Khan had offered him before. So then he throws the baggie to the Devlin guy. And then he, and then the cops come in, they burst in, and he gives it to the woman. He's like, give this to, what's his face? To whatever the guy's name is. Give it to Luca, and everything. And then he they scatter to the wind, right? And then Devlin, he disguises himself as a police officer and he leaves, right? But is caught and injured by Matt Murdock, right? And then later on, Matt Murdock, he secretly returns the diamond and accepts an offer to have dinner with the Khan family. So out in the alleyway, remember the scene from the trailer where the guy jumps up with the red hood and he smashes it and breaks that guy's leg? That was Daredevil breaking this dude's leg. Like, he just snapped it in half. And I was like, ooh, that's crazy. I was like, oh, that's going to be bad. It's going to hurt. And I was like, you know what, that's fun. Good fight sequences in this episode. I saw a lot of people talking about how this was filler, and maybe it was filler. I also, a friend told me that this was the only episode that they kept from the original script. And I was like, you know what? I can see that kind of, you know? And so, cause when you watch this, you're all like, you can see certain times where they like used what was left from the last script, and it's like, this feels like a little different, you know. Yeah, so he goes back to the bank afterwards because he's got the diamond, and he puts the diamond in the bowl of candy that Yusuf Khan offered him beforehand. And he's like, you know, maybe I will have one of these. And he's like, delicious. And Yusuf Khan notices the diamond inside the candy bowl. And he doesn't get the bank loan, but he does get to, which, you know, any other person would have kept that diamond and been like, well, now I get to keep my law firm open and everything. And he does say, you know, I'll have dinner with you and your family. And so maybe we'll get Daredevil to meet, Ms. Marvel or whatnot. And that'll be fun. So that was the end of episode 5. And like I said before, a lot of people thought of this episode as filler. And I didn't think of it as not as filler as much as normally I do, because I did feel like it played a part in the overall story of the fact that Luca owes money and he sent his goons to get the money from the bank because he doesn't have 1.8 million. And me, I'm all like, Luca, you got to stop killing people and causing problems, because when you do that, you pay for it, my dude. And nobody wants to be paying for all this stuff all the time. Like, calm it down, my dude. Like if you ain't got the money, don't buy it. You know what I'm saying? Okay, so let's hop over to episode 6. Now, this one was, I feel, was a lot better than episode 5. And I liked it. I liked this episode. There was lots of stuff. I know, I want to be honest with you. I really don't know the Muse from the comic books because he's a newer villain, and I don't read comic books as much as I used to, just because most of the time they're just shit. It's shit writing. I mean, the art's really good, on not everything, but a lot of stuff. And that's my thing. I'm just like, just because it's pretty doesn't mean it's good, you know? All right, let me dive into the breakdown of this one, and then we'll go on to discuss the rest of the episode and everything at the end. So after the failed robbery, right, Luca, he then goes to visit Fisk in his offices, and he refuses to pay the 1.8 million to Victor. Okay, but Fisk, he raises that amount to 2.8 million and gives Luca a week to pay it. So this Luca guy, right? He decides he's gonna be all tough guy with Kingpin, and I'm all like, you guys, why are you guys messing with Kingpin? Like, why are you guys? Did you guys not see him crush somebody's skull? Obviously not, because you guys are just acting like you guys can just say and do whatever you want to this like 7-foot, like 400-pound dude, and I'm all like, you better watch your tone the way you talk to Kingpin, because he will crush you. You know what I'm saying? So, anyways, so he's all like, oh, you don't want to pay the 1.8 million. It's now 2.8 million. And you got 7 days or you're going down and everything. I don't remember exactly what he said, but that's what he said. So then he learns from the city sanitation department, right, that the Muse is using human blood in his street art. And then Muse later on leaves the bodies of 2 victims next to a new mural as the public confirmation of his actions. And then Fisk learns of this during a fundraiser with the city's elites, including the socialite Jack DeKeys. I don't know how to say his last name, but the swordsman, who are against the port rebuild plans that Fisk wants to do. Okay, so a lot discussed with this part of the program. So first off, the sanitation department, they're trying to clean off these murals off of the wall, the graffiti. And BB's got this thing about graffiti art and everything, but that part of the program, I'm just like, I don't care about this BB character. Like, anyways, so they find out that they can't clean it off with just water and a hose because it's got human blood in it. And they find out that it's got on one mural, it's got 5 different types of blood. And the police chief is there. And one line that I did like was when Kingpin's like, it's really sad when the sanitation department finds out there's a serial killer before the police department. I was like, ooh, I was like, check. So, because that made the police chief guy look really stupid. And so he's been like using this blood to make paint and everything, which is gross. And he wants people to know that he's out there or whatnot. And later on, he captures he attacks these 2 girls that want a picture of him because they're like, you're like Banksy, but you're the Muse. And I'm all like, honey, get away from him. He's crazy. Not in time though. They didn't get away in time. So one thing that his wife says to him, Vanessa, is she says, you know what made you such a good villain is you didn't give people what they wanted. And these rich people, you're throwing this party for them, and this is what they want, validation. And I was like, ooh, Vanessa, you're good. I like you, Vanessa. And then you get this one woman, I don't remember her name, but she's basically like, hey, we run this town. Us rich folk, we run this town. And I was like, what is Fisk gonna do to all these richies, these rich people, to make them like realize like, hey, daddy's home. I'm the boss. Okay. So I'm curious to see what he'll do. Because we got the swordsman in there, because he's rich and everything, which is also great that's a callback to Hawkeye. But what I really want is, like, I think that when it comes to Disney Plus, I think Disney Plus is the place where you need to do these street level heroes like Daredevil, like Punisher, got people like that this is where you do it. You do it on Disney Plus. You can do it on the cheap if you need to, or cheaper. Like Hawkeye, you have a Hawkeye. Like if you have a Kate Bishop show, Kate Bishop needs to stay on Disney Plus. The same thing with anybody, pretty much anybody without powers. The street level, except Spider-Man could be on there, but he won't be on there. But street level people, the heroes, they need to be on Disney Plus. Okay, so moving on. So to deal with Muse, Fisk establishes the Anti-Vigilante Task Force with additional powers and recruits who are notorious police officers, and such as that Powell guy, and then this former detective guy, Cole North. So he gets these bad cops together, right? And he decides to make the anti-vigilante task force, which I just want to be like, Muse isn't a vigilante. He's just a serial killer. So I'm just like, maybe you should change the name, but whatever. It's fine. I like the anti-vigilante task force. And they do show up again in season 2, because like I mentioned last episode, we see set pictures of them. So he gets them all together, and they're going to hunt down these vigilantes. Like they are primed and ready to go. You know what I'm saying? So while this is going on, Angela, she believes that Elia was investigating Muse before his death and asks Matt Murdock to continue his work. But when Matt refuses, she goes by herself and is abducted by Muse. So she goes to his offices, and she's just all like, my uncle, he didn't die for nothing. Like, he was trying to get all this, he was trying to find Muse and everything. And she's like, will you help me? And then Matt Murdock's just like, I don't know what to tell you, kid. And she's like, fine, I'll do it myself. And so she goes down into the tunnels, because she's like, they all disappeared on, tunnel 3. I can't remember which one it was. And she goes down there by herself. And I'm like, girl, you don't go down to a tunnel by yourself. Like, what are you doing, sweet pea? Like, come on. This is the problem. Like, you got to use your brain. And I feel like some characters, they just don't use their brain. Like, maybe tell somebody where you're going or something. I mean, she did tell Matt Murdock, kind of. I don't know. I was just like, man, that's so stupid. You kind of deserve to get captured. So, alerted by her disappearance, Matt Murdock finally decides to suit up as Daredevil. Woo! And then he finds Muse's lair and rescues Angela, but Muse ends up getting away. So Angela gets tied down, and, blood just a draining, and Matt Murdock is fighting Muse and everything. And he's about to kill Muse, but he's got a choice, because he can hear Angela's heartbeat, kind of like Foggy's heartbeat. And he can either kill Muse, like stand there and let Angela die and kill Muse, or he can save Angela. And he decides to save Angela. And he does the pushies on her chest and everything, and then finally has to like punch it or whatnot. She's like and survives and everything, and Muse gets away. Which the fight sequence here was really good, except my whole thing is like, does everybody that's a bad guy and a good guy know martial arts? Like, they all know how to fight? Like, I'm just like, where did Muse learn this from? Again, I don't know much about the character because I didn't read those comic books. But he gets away, which I was kind of happy about, because you always want a good bad guy around, right? So meanwhile, while this is going down, Fisk, he goes down to his little dungeon cafe, and he gives Adam an axe and challenges him to a fight, in which Fisk beats him and drags him back to his cell. Okay, so, and this is the end of it. So what I liked here was, I liked the duality of the fact that both Matt Murdock and Fisk are trying to combat their alter egos of Kingpin and Daredevil. And Fisk, he goes down to his little dungeon cafe, like I said before, because he eats down there. And he gives Adam an axe, and he says, my father, when he gave me a weapon to fight guys bigger than me, or something like that. I can't remember. And he's basically like, you get past me, you're free. Okay. Because he's like, I realized that Vanessa would want me to let you go. And he's like, thank you, Mr. Fisk. But he's like, I'm not going to just let you go. Silly goose. You have to fight. So he fights, and Adam is trying his hardest. And I felt bad for him, because I'm like, dude, I feel like this guy has suffered enough. Your wife has suffered nothing. I'm like, I'm sorry. So They fight, and Fisk is throwing. He is like, it's just a hacky sack to him. He is just bouncing this motherfucker all over the place. And he finally loses, and he just drags him back into his cell. And the guy is just battered to shit. I'm like, if he is not dead, I feel like he's probably going to die from his wounds because Fisk just beat the fuck out of his face. You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, if he doesn't get somebody in there to help out, like with his injuries, then I feel like that guy might not make it. And that's the end of the episode. So overall, first off, I'm glad this is the last double episode drop because it's hard for me to cover 2 episodes in 1 week, especially like back to back and everything. I just have a lot going on in my private life, you guys. But I did like these 2 episodes. Again, I do feel like this show is like on a scale of 1 to 10, this show is like a 5. Like it's not bad, but it's not great. And I do feel like you have to compare it to the Netflix show because a lot of it is based off the Netflix show. And if you're going to do that, you really got to knock it out of the park because in my opinion, that Netflix Daredevil show are pretty big shoes to fill. And if you're not going to fill them, or at least fill them 90%, then maybe you shouldn't do it. I understand why you did it, but it's just for me personally, I'm just like, I just go like, come on, guys. But at the same time, I'm not hate watching the show because I don't think it's dog shit. It's not dog shit. Because if it was, I would have said that from the get-go. I have no problem telling you a show is shit. But like I said, and the acting is good. I like all these actors are doing a good job. The two Fisk and I can't remember D'Onofrio and Cox, whatever his Cox is his last name. I can't think right now, but they're doing a good job acting wise, and the show is pretty good. I'm not gonna lie. This the new episode. I'm interested to see where they go from here. All right. I took too much of your time, you guys. Tell me what you guys thought about these episodes. Did you like them? Did you not like them? What was your favorite part? What are you looking forward to? Do you like that they keep putting in these other characters from other Disney Plus shows and movies and such? I think it's a good idea. I say keep doing it. How do you feel about the fact that I said that all of these street level heroes and villains should all be on Disney Plus and, appear in the movies, kind of like the Cons did in the Marvels, but appear in the movies just, when it comes to their own stories, they stay here on Disney Plus. Tell me what you guys think. Go ahead and leave all your comments in that section down below. If you like this video, go and hit that like button. I won't mind. If you're new to my channel, please hit that subscribe button. I'd greatly appreciate it. And we'll see you guys on my next Daredevil breakdown and review. You guys have a good week. Bye.